And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mr. Brown's Principles of AAV class. We're doing Photoshop. This is week 10, day 2. Glad you guys are all with us. And today we're going to be looking at mainly one new tool in Photoshop. And we're going to spend just the whole day playing around with it because it is a whole lot of fun. And we're going to just be extreme with it today and be goofy. But generally, you do want to use this tool in a very, very simplified, delicate manner. Okay, so we don't want to be going crazy with this tool because a lot of people do that, and it's when you get called out for your bad Photoshop skills. And I'm looking at the camera, and I just noticed like my hair it's all over the place today. Oh, will you guys forgive my messed up hair? Hopefully. I mean, I don't really think y'all care, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to get started, jumping right in. And we're going to try to go quicker today because yesterday Ryder told me that I talk too much and I need to get to the point. So this is for you, Ryder. All right, let's get to the point. Looking at Photoshop, we are going to open our new image. I gave you guys a new image today. It is this guy here. We're going to be photoshopping this guy here. I don't know his name. We're going to call him Chad. So what's up, Chad? You're about to get photoshopped. I'm going to go to Photoshop. I'm going to click open. Again, we want to open this image, not create something new in Photoshop and then try to make this work, because I've seen what you guys do with that, and you always have like a really big canvas and the wrong sized photo. It's a mess. So go to open and then open the image that I gave you to download. So here we go. We're going to hit open. It's going to open up our image to the exact size that it's supposed to open eventually. There we go. Now we got a good look at Chad. We are ready to rock and roll with this. So we're going to be using one specific tool today, and that tool is the Liquify tool. It's actually counted as a filter, and we're going to see it under the filter menu. And it has a lot of different things you can do and a lot of different applications. But today we're just going to use it to mess up Chad's amazing looking face. So join me back at Photoshop. Here we go. Here's Chad's face. First thing I want to do is I'm going to duplicate the layer. So I'm going to hit Command J to duplicate, because I want to have I hit Command J and it's going to be 30 minutes for some reason this morning. I don't know, my computer. Oh, there it goes. I want to be able to compare what I've edited to the original photograph. So Command J duplicates the layer. Don't get that confused with any of the other make new layer commands. All right, so I've got my new layer. I'm going to come up to Filter at the top on the menu bar. It's way up here at the top next to Select in 3D. And I'm going to go down to Liquify. It literally says Liquify, filter gallery, blah, 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 all the way down, Liquify. I'm going to click it. And it's going to bring up, eventually on my very slow old computer, it's going to bring up a new window for us to do some editing in. So it's kind of like a pop-up where you can do these edits and kind of check out what you're doing. It's got a lot of control and a lot of power, and we're going to take a look at these as quickly as we can. So for the most part, this is used to make people look, well, more handsome or more beautiful than they are. And so if you look over here on the right-hand side, we have something called Face Aware Liquify that has popped up. And look for that over here on the right-hand side. And we have, it asks you to select your face. There's only one face here, so we're good. You have different criteria: eye size, eye height, eye width, eye tilt, eye distance. We can adjust the nose, the mouth, the face shape. This is such an amazing tool. We used to not have this tool, and we used to have to try to do it all by hand and do it all really, really carefully so that everything looked the same. And now Photoshop does it for you automatically, and that's amazing. So first, we're just going to start off by adjusting and playing around with his eye size. Now notice that I'm moving this up and down, and his eye's getting bigger and smaller. And it's just the left eye. So I'm moving the left eye side, and it's just the left eye. If you want to move them at the same time, you can actually just type that in. You click this little chain link in between the two. Right in the middle, there's a chain link. Click it. Bam. Now they'll move together. So I can shrink his eyes, or I can make his eyes, anime big and goofy. There we go. So it just depends on what you guys want to do. I'm going to make them really big and goofy because they're just going to be ridiculous today. You can change the eye height, which again is not locked, so I need to lock it so that we can move them together. I don't really dig that, but we can change the eye width. Kind of does the same thing, but I'm going to go ahead and lock mine and then change them at the same time. And now eye tilt. Oh, I'm going to lock it and we can tilt them up or down, change how they look. I'm just going to go down here. There we go. And eye distance. And this is the space between the eyes. So I'm just going to move his eyeballs together. And you can already see that Chad here is looking immediately better. I'm going to go down to my nose and we can play around with how tall or short his nose is. I'm just going to shrink it. And I'm actually going to make it wider. And you can see this isn't like a really gross distortion of his face. It's subtle, it's proportionate. I mean, I'm making it look goofy, but if you use this just a little bit, you can really enhance a subject's appearance without making them look too goofy. Now, of course, I have gotten mine to be looking ridiculous. Moving down to the mouth, we can add a smile. We can make him frowny. Oh, Chad. But Chad just got some good news. He won the lottery. So we can increase the size of the upper lip or decrease the size of the upper lip. We can increase the size of the lower lip or decrease the size of the lower lip. Let's just make that, maybe not 100, but let's just make it a little bit bigger. And we can even change the width of the mouth, stretch it out, shrink it to where he's a little more puckered. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit, and we can change the height of the mouth, which just looks ridiculous. So I'm going to leave that one kind of alone. Now we can come down to face shape. And we can change the size of his forehead. He can have a 5 head or a 3 head or somewhere in the middle with the forehead. I'm going to actually shrink it. We're going to go all the way down. We can change the chin height. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but it just kind of cracks me up. We can change the shape of the jawline. We can widen it out. We can shrink it. I'm digging this kind of look. We can even adjust the face width to more narrow to further apart. So I'm going to go just a little bit more narrow. And these are our face-aware Liquify tools, and that kind of covers all of them. But there are more tools than this. So let's go ahead and jump into what the other tools are and what they do. These were the easy ones. From here, you can get any sort of crazy you want because they're not constrained. So let's look at, over on the far left, you can see we have a set of different tools. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through all of these because today I want you to be having some fun playing around with these different tools. The very first one, you've got this face tool, and it's pretty much what we have been doing. So we can ignore that one. The ones that we're going to use the most are the pucker tool, the bloat tool, and the push left. We use those more than anything. We've got a smooth tool and a reconstruct tool and a forward warp. We're going to mainly do the pucker and bloat because they're the most fun. But let's just try bloat for right now. So I've got my brush, and what this is going to do is it's going to take the amount of pixels that are inside of your brush and make them larger or shrink them down smaller. So if you want to do a larger area, you need to make your brush bigger by hitting the left or right bracket. Those are both next to your P key or right below your delete or backspace or right above your enter key. So the left or right bracket will change that size. So I'm gonna do some work on the man's ears, and I have got my I've got my bloat tool turned on. So now you can click and hold it, and it's going to continue to make the ear bigger. And you can even drag it, and it's going to pull those pixels in a weird spot. So I'm just going to make his whole ear bigger by clicking at the top, holding for a second, and then dragging down. And you can see it's just kind of bloating his entire ear. And I'm going to just kind of drag his ear out a little bit. I got a little bit too crazy. You can see there's some distortion, but we'll just let that go. What the heck? And now we'll do the same thing on this side. This side is a little bit harder because there's more detail because there's more light on this side. Let's say we want to really make his eyebrows bigger. Let's just bloat them out a little bit. And same on this side. Poor Chad. He's looking better. I just got to say, Chad is looking better. And now we've got the pucker tool, and that's going to shrink. That's going to shrink some things. So I'm going to shrink his Adam's apple down here because it's just poking out. We can nearly make it non-existent or make it look like an odd pimple maybe. I don't know what's going on. We can make this really big and shrink an entire eyeball and almost shrink them back down to size. But I think I want to make them bigger. So I'm going to just blow these eyes up just a little bit more. So if you hold in one spot and don't move your cursor, it's going to just blow that area up. And it's kind of like bloating out from the middle to the edge. If you're moving it, it's bloating out from the middle of the circle to the edges of the circle in a line. So just be careful with that. It does take a little bit of practice to kind of get this down. Not gonna lie to you, I don't use the Liquify tool enough making these huge changes to be good at it. Some people can really make some radical changes to a person using Liquify. I just use them to make some subtle changes sometimes when something didn't look right on a photograph, just to kind of fix it up, because sometimes the lens distorts reality, so we try to get it back to reality. But if you're one of those people that wants to really make things look unreal, this is your tool. You can have a lot of fun with this. Here's Chad. We've got some other tools up here. You've got the warp tool, it's the twirl clockwise tool. And yeah, I'm not gonna mess with the twirl clockwise tool. We can push to the left, which just allows you to push all the pixels in a direction. So we can just kind of push them out, and it's a handy dandy little tool here. And we can reshape his ears. It looks like his ear got bit off, but you know, there it goes. Let's just this ear. There was an accident, so here we go. We'll try to do the same thing on this side, and it's looking great. This looks terrible. This looks terrible. Okay, so I think I may undo that ear. We'll just leave one ear bitten off. That did not look that good. All right, so the great thing is play around with all of these tools today. So what I want you to do is I'm going to give you this image, and I want you to play around with the tools. Give me your version, your best version of how you think Chad should look, and submit that as a JPEG at the end of the day. As you're working, just a last little FYI, as you're working, you can turn the preview off and on to see where you came from. And I think it's an improvement. I think Chad definitely looks a lot better now than when he, like, look at this. This is just a boring face. Now look at this. It looks amazing. We do have a small problem. If you look down at the bottom of the screen, our warping and twisting and moving around has removed some of the pixels because we've actually pulled the pixels up. So, and you can see some at the top where we've pulled the pixels up. So you just have to be careful with that. When you're done, you just hit OK, and it's going to apply that. And as you can see, I left this background layer here because it does cover up some of the pixels when you bloat and warp. But you can also turn it off and on and kind of look at what you've done, your artwork. So this is the bloat. I mean, this is the Liquify tool. You can use it on faces. You can use it on a lot of other things. So your assignment today is modify Chad, turn it in. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it. Tomorrow we're going to be doing some more serious work with some of these tools, and you'll get to kind of put them to use in a professional aspect and see if you can figure out how to make things work and look right. All right, hope you guys have a great day. See ya.